Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to go over the new Ducks on the Pond pack. Pretty much you can get two of them for 35,000 stubs each. What these packs entail is a possibility of getting one of 8 cards in 2 separate rounds. There's a base round and a rare round. I will talk about them a little bit like the 3 cards I reviewed yesterday, as well as give them a Chewy rating, as well as the rare round, which is anything that's 97 plus within the pack. Now, for the rare round, you only have a chance to get them 1 out of 4, so a 25% chance. If not, you're going to get the base round. And I will tell you guys which card I think you should pick in the base round, and which card I think you should pick in the rare round, as well as how much I think that the card will end up being once the packs are off the market. I don't know if they'll be a reoccurring pack or not. However, I'll kind of let you know how much I think these cards should be worth once they're out of the market, to know whether or not, if you get one of the rare cards, if you should sell them or not, or if you should sell one of the base cards like right away. How about you guys hit that subscribe button? It allows me to grow the channel, and I really appreciate it. Give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Guys, let's get into the pack. I'm going to do the base round first of those 5 cards, and I'll let you know at the end of reviewing those 5 cards which one I think is the best of the 5, as well as the standard card review that I'm going to do for each one of them. The first card we're going to review in the base round is Orlando Hernandez, who pitched for the New York Yankees. It's his prime card. Some of you guys might know him as El Duque. He has a really high leg kick. That's kind of what he was famous for. Looking at his actual real-life statistics, I'm assuming that his prime was from 1998 to 1999, which is actually kind of when he first started pitching. He came into the league much older than most starting pitchers because he's from Cuba, and he had to get permission to leave Cuba whenever Fidel Castro was still the dictator down there. So he didn't get to come to the United States till he was pretty much at the back end of his prime. He only really had 2 prime years, and after that he kind of fell off. He had a good year here or there. But within that 2-year period of 1998 to 1999, he was 29-13. He had an ERA in the first year of 3.13 and an ERA of 4.12. He had a wins above replacement or WAR of 3.6 and 4.2 respectively. And he had his home runs per 9 were less than 1, and his WHIP was 1.2 or lower. So he had some really good years when he first came to Major League Baseball. I think it had a lot to do with the unique leg kick and the way he hit the ball. Now let's look at the actual attributes of the card. It's a 93 overall. It's right-handed throwing. He throws a sinker, curveball, 4-seam fastball, slider, and changeup, none of which he throws very fast. He's going to throw about 95 miles an hour max. He is a sinker baller as his primary pitch, which is kind of nice, but it's not very hard. He does have a good change of speed, though, with the 70-mile-per-hour curveball, 81-mile-per-hour slider, and 78-mile-per-hour changeup. Looking at his attributes, 106 stamina, so he'll be able to go deep into games, 88 hits per 9, 95 K per 9, 84 base on balls per 9, 81 home run per 9, which I actually think is pretty low, considering that he only ever let up less than 1 home run per 9 innings pitched as a starter, which is actually a really good number. And he has 90 pitching clutch, 84 control, 70 velocity, 95 break. Now, I did mention that his hits per 9 is pretty low for his real-life statistics. I think his hits per 9 and K per 9s are actually a little juiced compared to his home runs per 9. So, it is what it is. This El Duque, in my opinion, especially for the starting pitchers available, and the fact that the pack costs 35,000 stubs, I'm going to give this card a 2 Chewies because I just don't think it's that good of a card. He doesn't throw hard enough, and he's just really not even close to the best card out of the base cards. The next card, if you end up getting the base rewards, is Daniel Murphy, Silver Slugger card, 2016. Plays second base with the secondaries of first base and third base. He has diamond hitting, silver defense. And in this season, he got the Silver Slugger. He had a 347 batting average with a 390 on base percentage, a 595 slugging with an OPS of 985. Those were both leading statistics in the National League. He also led the National League in doubles with 47. He had a 4.5 WAR, but his offensive WAR was 5.7, which shows how good of a hitter he was. He actually had a negative defensive WAR, So it's kind of funny that his defense is even silver because it should probably be lower. You shouldn't have a negative defensive WAR and have 71 fielding. It should probably be somewhere in the 50s or 60s, especially with some of the other cards like Christian Yelich that has common fielding but has won a Gold Glove before in his career at some point in time. Also, Murphy was an all-star and finished second in the MVP race that year in the National League. His actual attributes for the card are 125 contact versus righty, 114 contact versus lefty, with 85 power versus righty, and 74 power versus lefty, with 105 vision. He has 58 discipline and 125 clutch. His fielding is 71 fielding, 64 arm strength, 80 arm accuracy, 74 reaction with 42 speed. Honestly, I just don't think he has enough range as a second baseman. You probably have to play him at third base or first base anyways. He doesn't really have a great arm for third base, so you're probably stuck at playing him at first base, just like his live series card. This season and the ridiculous postseason season he had with the New York Mets are the reasons why he got paid and ended up going to the Colorado Rockies on a bigger contract. This card's attributes are kind of ridiculous, if you ask me, with the 125 max clutch versus righty, and he has great power. He has a glitchy swing, so I think this card is actually very good, especially for a base card. Now, I wouldn't really buy this pack in general because I just think it's too many stubs unless you get the rare round, and even then, I don't know if the cards are going to be worth much more than $50K. I would wait till there's a lot of these Daniel Murphys on the market and buy one. It'll probably be like $15K. And at $15K, I think this card's a steal. I'm going to give this card 4.5 Chewies. Just because I think it's a very good card. It has high vision, great contact, and he has a glitchy swing. The third of 5 cards that you could possibly get with the base round is the prime Fernando Rodney when he pitched for the Tampa Bay Rays. However, I think his prime actually encompassed 3 years, from 2012 to 2014. The first 2 he played for the Tampa Bay Rays. The third one he played for the Seattle Mariners. In that stretch, he had 48 saves, 37 saves, and 48 saves, which actually led the American League in 2014. He averaged over 10 Ks per 9 over that span. He had 2 All-Star appearances. In 2012, his ERA was .6. Like, that's utterly ridiculous. And his home runs per 9 was .4 or less as a closing pitcher. I also mentioned yesterday he was one of the best 1-2 punches in the league with him and Jake McGee. Now looking at this card, it's a 92 overall. He's right-handed throwing. He's a sinker baller, so he throws a sinker, a circle change, a four-seam fastball, and a slider. He has 25 stamina, 111 hits per 9, 103K per 9. I think that should actually be a little bit higher, in my opinion, since he had over 10 Ks per 9 in this stretch. He has 71 base on balls per 9. He has 99 home runs per 9, which I believe is the max. I don't think it goes up to 125 for home run per 9. He's 115 pitching clutch, which makes sense because he had a lot of saves, was absolutely shut down. 79 control with 99 velocity and 98 break. I'm not going over quirks for all the cards because it's just too time consuming for as long as the video has to be. But he does have outlier, which is huge. As you can see, he throws a 99 mile per hour fastball. That's going to go 102. His sinker's probably going to go about 99. So this dude's going to bring massive heat with that 81 mile per hour circle change. And he does have a very good release when it comes to hiding the ball. So Fernando Rodney, this closing pitcher in this base round, I don't think he's worth the 35K. I think he's going to drop down to about 20K, maybe that 15K mark, like the Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy could even drop down further. But as Fernando Rodney, I really like this card. He's also going to get 4.5 Chewies from me. Just a really, really good card. And this is somebody I'm going to pick up, especially when his price drops. The fourth option in the base round is the 2013 Gold Glove, 94 overall, Salvador Perez, a catcher for the Kansas City Royals. He has a secondary at first base, right-handed throwing, right-handed batting, 6'4", 245 pounds, could probably play linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs at the time because they were terrible, even though they're defending Super Bowl champions now. He is a diamond hitting, diamond defense. And in this year, when he was 2013 Gold Glove winner, he batted .292 with a .323 on-base percentage, a .433 slugging with a .757 OPS. He had 13 home runs and 79 RBIs. He had 11 defensive runs saved. He had a 4.2 WAR overall with a 2.3 defensive WAR. So he was pretty much the best catcher in the American League. I don't even think it was that close that year. That's why he won the Gold Glove. Looking at his attributes, he has 91 contact versus righty, 108 contact versus lefty, 60 power versus righty, 72 power versus lefty with 100 vision, 45 discipline with 122 clutch. Everyone knows that Perez pretty much crushes left-handed pitching. Even his live series card crushes left-handed pitching. So it makes sense that he has 108 contact versus lefty, 72 power versus lefty. Against the righties, it's really not that great, but it's more than suffices for the card that he is. The defense is where he really shines as a defensive catcher. 92 fielding, 89 arm strength, 93 arm accuracy, 72 reaction with 90 blocking. I also know he has the vacuum cleaner quirk, which will allow him to block balls better. So this overall, pretty good card, good defensive catcher. I think there's a few better options at catcher than Perez. However, catchers are pretty hard to find in the game. So I'm going to give him 3.5 Chewies just because his power is not really there for a catcher. But defensively, I think he's really, really good. The last card in the base round is Dave Kingman, the left fielder, first baseman for the Chicago Cubs prime card. So his primary position is left field. His secondary is a first base and right field. He's 92 overall. He's a very, very big man at 6'6". So he's a huge strike zone in the game. I don't know if anyone's used his swing. It's a little goofy. It does generate a lot of deep fly balls, though. He has diamond hitting, silver defense. And in this year, it's a prime card. He didn't really have like a defined prime. There's years where he had like ridiculous years. There's years where he had off years. It seemed like he had some injury-prone years. I'm just going to go base that this card is based off of the year that it's actually based off of, which is when he was age 30, 1979 season. He had 48 home runs. He led the National League. He had 115 RBIs. He batted .288. He had a .343 on base percentage with .613 slugging and .956 OPS. He was an all-star, finished 11th in the MVP race. His WAR was 4.1 for the season. And in his career, because you can see he has pretty prolific power numbers in his attributes, he hit 442 home runs, so he's in the 400 home run club. This card has 76 contact versus righty, 100 contact versus lefty, 102 power versus righty, 117 power versus lefty with 70 vision, 71 discipline, and 85 clutch. Defensively, at 64 fielding, 92 arm strength, 76 arm accuracy, 58 reaction with 52 speed. Honestly, I don't think this card's very good. He has a lot of power. If you need a pinch hitter, that's cool, but I just think there's better options as pinch hitters. Out of the 5 cards, I think that this Dave Kingman is the worst, and therefore he's going to get 1.5 Chewies just because I just think there's too many better options in the outfield in the game. I think there's better pinch hitters, and he's just really not worth anything in the base price. I'm sure this card will drop under 10,000 stubs when it's finally all said and done, and he's the worst in the base round. So we've gone over the 5 cards in the base round. If I had a choice for my personal team, I am picking Fernando Rodney every single time. I think he's the best option out of these 5 cards. If you need a second baseman or a first baseman for whatever reason, I think Daniel Murphy is a very good option. I think if his price gets down to about 10K in stubs, I would 100% invest in him just even as a pinch hitter, as maybe a guy you need to switch it up. He reminds me a lot of the Keith Hernandez Signature Series from last year. Not the poop card they got in the game from the player program this year. I'm talking about the Keith Hernandez that everyone loved that played first base last year. Yeah, Daniel Murphy's not the same defensively as that Keith Hernandez was, but he has kind of the same hitting attributes and the same glitchy swing to get those base hits with actually a little bit more pop than that Keith Hernandez had. So that's why I picked Fernando Rodney, Daniel Murphy are the 2 best cards in the base round. Now that we've done the base round, let's go over the rare round, those 3 cards, which includes Andrew McCutchen, Zack Greinke, and Wade Boggs. The first card we're going to go over that you can get in the rare round is Andrew McCutchen when he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's a center fielder, 2014 Silver Slugger, 97 overall, right-handed batting, right-handed throwing. Can play left field and right field as well as his secondary positions. He has diamond hitting and gold defense. This was the year after he won the MVP in 2013. He finished 3rd in the MVP voting this particular season, was an all-star, and obviously won the Silver Slugger. His batting average was .314 with an OBP of .410, which led the National League. He had .542 slugging with .952 OPS, which led the National League as well. He had 25 home runs, 83 RBIs. He had a 6.4 WAR for the season. So he was pretty much on fire for a few years here when he played for the Pirates. Looking at his attributes for this season, he has 112 contact versus righty, 94 contact versus lefty, 83 power versus righty with 99 power versus lefty, 83 vision with 110 discipline, 101 clutch. So it's very interesting to me that he has 94 contact versus lefty. Makes sense for this season. He actually had a higher batting average against righties and against lefties, which was one of the few years in his entire career that was the case. So very interesting to me. He has great pop with that 83 plus power. 99 against lefties, pretty ridiculous. And he has a very, very good swing in the game. He has 84 fielding, 72 arm strength, 74 arm accuracy, 81 reaction with 85 speed, 70 stealing. Obviously, being a Pirates fan, I'm a huge fan of Andrew McCutchen. And I respect everything he did for the Pirates. However, there's a lot of options in center field. I do not think he's worth the 35,000 stubs that he costs to get, and it's only a 1 in 4 chance, so 25% chance. Therefore, that's going to affect his Chewy rating here. He's getting 3 Chewies. I love the card. I will pick it up at some point in time throughout the year. I'm going to play with a Pirates themed team for ranked seasons on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca. Come and check it out sometime. But until he drops in price, it's just not going to be worth picking him up. So that's why he's getting 3 Chewies. He's just not worth the price. Next up, we have the 97 overall 2009 Cy Young winner, Zack Greinke, starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals at the time. Right-handed throwing. He throws 5 pitches, a 4-seam fastball, a slider, a sinker, a curveball, and a changeup. He can hit about 97 and 98 miles an hour. He has a slider that goes 89 miles an hour, so a very hard slider with a pretty decent sinker. His curveball only goes 72 miles an hour, so it's a huge change of pace when it comes to pitch speeds. And he has an 83 mile per hour changeup. In this 2009 Cy Young season, he was an all-star, obviously won the Cy Young. He had a 16-8 record, a 2.16 ERA that led the American League. He had 242 strikeouts. He had a 7.7 hits per 9. He had 0.4 home runs per 9 and had 9.5 Ks per 9. That means he threw over a strikeout an inning as a starter. That's ridiculous. He had a 1.073 whip, and he had a 10.4 WAR. Double digits WAR in a regular season is just absolutely ridiculous. It's hard to fathom. That pretty much means that he averaged 10.4 more wins than an average starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. Like, that's one of the highest WARs in a single season for a starting pitcher. He has 108 stamina, 91 hits per 9, 101 K per 9, 93 base on balls per 9, 92 home run per 9, 100 pitching clutch, 83 control, 90 velocity, 96 break. This card with his pitching repertoire and his attributes is super ridiculous. I wish his hits per 9 would be a little bit higher than 91. I wish it'd be more around the triple digits, maybe 100, maybe like 98. But we all know he's a ridiculous release. It's really hard to see. And whenever you're throwing the ball hard and then mixing in his curveball and his changeup, he's just a disaster to try to hit against. Honestly, last year everyone liked the Signature Series at 96 overall. I think this card might be a little bit better in this state of the game right now. So the Zack Greinke is going to get 4.5 Chewies. I think this is the best card in this rare round compared to the other 3. Just my opinion. But I would recommend going out and getting him. I think his price might actually be upwards of 70K when this pack is done. I think he'll be the lowest, like, once this pack's going on and people are trying to sell. Maybe this pack's out for a couple days here. Other than that, I try to pick up the card, but he could definitely be a card that ends up being about 70K. It might be a little bit less. It might be overestimating just because I think this card is really, really good, but we'll see what happens. Alright, the last card to go over and ducks on the pond here. It's Wade Boggs, 98 overall, Signature Series. Played third base, secondary or first base, left-handed batting, right-handed throwing. He obviously played third base and first base throughout his career. Diamond hitting, diamond defense. With the Signature Series card, we're going to go over some of his career statistics and accomplishments. He's a 12-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove, 5-time batting title winner, 8-time Silver Slugger, won the World Series in 1996 with the New York Yankees. He has a career .328 batting average, 118 home runs, 1,014 RBIs, .415 on base percentage, and he has a 91.4 WAR. pretty much these are Hall of Fame numbers. That's why he was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2005. And he's one of the best pure hitters to ever play baseball. As you can see, with 125 contact versus righties, 115 contact versus lefty, 69 power versus righty, 66 power versus lefty, with 123 vision, 125 discipline, 125 clutch. He has 86 fielding, 81 arm strength, 83 arm accuracy, and 80 reaction with 54 speed, 9 stealing, and 16 base running aggressiveness. So this Wade Boggs card is a very good card. I think this is slightly under the Zack Greinke card. He has tremendous contact, tremendous vision. He's going to have a huge PCI on Legend. Definitely a guy to be used by upper echelon players within the game. So if you're one of those guys that are always in Division Series or World Series ranking, Wade Boggs might be a go-to third baseman or first baseman for you. Especially at first base right now, there's not too many guys that are just crushing the ball at first base that have big PCIs. He doesn't have that much power, but he's going to be more of a setup man to set the table. Maybe your 2-hitter, maybe your 8-hitter, maybe your 7-hitter. Guys, I'm going to give this Wade Boggs a 4 chewies here. He's a little bit under Greinke, but a very solid card. I think he'll end up right above the 35,000 stub threshold, maybe around 40,000 stubs, just because of the pack that he's in and the fact that he's in the rare round. So quick review here. Zack Greinke, if you get the rare round, would be the guy I would pick. If you get the base round, I would pick Fernando Rodney. Unless you really need a first baseman or second baseman, then I'd pick Daniel Murphy. So that's my review of the cards. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave some comments below what you think about the review. If you guys agree, disagree with my rankings of them. You guys have a great day and be safe.